Content warning. This video contains discussion about difficult subjects from the outset. Child abuse, paedophilia, incest. So what other trauma reduction techniques did you use? Was it just talking therapy, like EMDR, Hoffman process, psychedelics? Very interesting to hear your take on the different techniques for trauma reduction.
I've done a lot. When I first started out, I was mostly talking therapy, and I was just trying to train myself to talk about any of the abuse and trauma that I had in my life, which was hard because there's some therapy sessions where I only talk a couple of sentences, and then the rest of the hour is just silent. So I didn't know what to say. And then my therapist at the time was very understanding. He's like, okay, take your time. It's fine. And it was like I was trying to bring the words out of my mouth, but nothing would come out. It was like I was mute. And then after that, I started doing group therapies with other sexual abuse survivors. Just hearing other people's stories gave me enough courage to tell my story. It started off small with like the memories I remembered and how I felt at the time. It kind of felt like I was learning how to write, but I first needed to teach myself the alphabet first when it came to mental health. And then from that, I did something called chair work, which is basically the therapist kind of hypnotizes you, puts you in the chair, and then you revert back to your child self when the abuse happened. And then I had my therapist basically imagine my abuser in front of me. And out loud, I would have to tell my abuser what he did, how it made me feel. And then it felt so intense and real to me that I basically tell him what he did to me, how it made me feel. And I felt like I went back to like my little 6-year-old self. And I was like cry screaming at him, like, why'd you do this to me? Like, out of everybody, like, why couldn't you just get someone your own age? And like, why would you hurt me? Like, I grew up thinking I was going to go to hell, like stuff like that. And it was very cathartic. But therapy is like that, is like a giant, it's like a spotlight to show you where your triggers are at, but it doesn't really like correct or heal anything. It's just like, it showed me what I had to work on. And I didn't know there's a difference in that. And then from there, I did cognitive behavioral therapy, where I had a therapist try to help me see where I was, like my feelings at the time. I was like, I wasn't very emotionally mature. So I basically had to learn what boundaries were and what my feelings were. I wasn't in tune with myself. So like I had to relearn, like, am I happy? Am I sad? What am I feeling right now in this moment? Something similar when you said about, grounding yourself, like see, sight, and smell kind of stuff. And then what's really helped me would be shadow work by this guy named Brent Charlton, and he's from LA. He's worked with heroin addicts, drug addicts, and sexual abuse survivors. And he, like 3 years ago, he ended up having a workshop that he called Lionheart. And basically, this dude was like ahead of his game, where he basically gave us a framework of how to recognize your feelings, how to recognize a trigger, how to take that trigger and put it into a correction, which was like a letter to your teen or child. And then from there, from that trigger, you find whatever past from a caretaker did to you, or what trauma that happened that connects to the current trigger you're having. And then you correct it. And then from that correction, it's like a little gift wrapped up in a neat little bow that helps you process. It's like a way to process trauma that happened to you in the past, and to help you correct it in terms of maybe there's a better way to react to a trigger or to a thing that happens to you. Like, for example, for me, I get extremely upset and angry when someone called me a liar. So that would be my initial trigger. And then the thing that connects to the past would be because I was called a liar by my extended family when I tried to tell the truth about my sexual abuse. So that's the feelings of where I got that from. So in order to fix my current trigger of being called a liar, I basically had to write a letter to my child self, basically telling, teen angel, saying, hey, you're not a liar. I'm so sorry this happened to you. What your caretaker said, calling you a liar, was wrong, that you didn't deserve that. And then like other little points of like how I could better emotionally handle or react to that. And so next time someone calls me a liar, instead of crying and freaking out, I'd be like, oh, okay. All right, you think I'm a liar? That's fine. That's fine. I know I'm telling the truth, but if you think I'm lying, that's on you. And I'm just going to go on with my life, and we'll just keep it as that, like that. Like teaches you how to react differently, or more adult and mature way. And my fiance and I have been both doing that, the shadow work, for the past 3 years. And I have like a box of notebooks that's like up to here. Let me, like, maybe one day I can read you a correction, but basically going through all that has really changed my perception of how I view things, how I react to things, and also just like I view the world a lot differently than I did 3 years ago now, basically. And it's made me more empathetic as well to other people and their plights and what they're doing. Like when I have someone coming at me being extremely angry, instead of going, oh my God, they're so angry, I think like, oh, something bothered them today, and it might be connected to something in the past that reminds them of the thing they're angry about right now. So I'm going to emphasize with them and see why they're angry and try to figure this out, instead of me reacting and being angry back, help me a little bit become more of a functioning adult, basically.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed listening to Angel's story. If you'd like to support this channel, you can donate to our PayPal, which is on your screen now. The link is also in the description. We hope to see you back here soon.